What's going on, guys? Rob A here, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Blackout. This is the leader class Blackout figure that a lot of fans have been waiting for a very long time. And I gotta say, at first glance in the package, he looks pretty darn stunning. Really nice work with the... I'm just gonna lift the camera up and kind of move it around. Really nice work with the paint here. And of course, this is all first impressions, so things may change once I get them out of the package, but I'm just kind of showing them off in the package so you guys get an idea of what to look for on store shelves. So here he is, nice packaging, nice image of Blackout with his little rotor weapon here. Of course, you can see Studio Series number 8 on the side, another image of Blackout and Scorponok. And then on the back, you can see Decepticon Blackout shocks human defenses with unstoppable force. He comes with a desert base assault backdrop that you can stand him on. And then it says big screen inspired scale detail backdrop. So that's pretty cool. And of course it shows other characters you can get from the series: Grimlock number 7, Optimus Prime number 5. So that's pretty cool. And just on the back here, this guy retails for $50. And I picked this up from Amazon.com. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the package, and we're going to check him out right now. Alright guys, so here we have Blackout in his helicopter mode, and it's a really, really nice vehicle mode overall. So taking a look at it, it's actually quite light, surprisingly. There is a lot of hollowness underneath, and I'll show that off. If I can actually show that off without, messing up the blades here, but you guys can kind of see there is a lot of hollow space underneath, especially here in the back. They use Scorponok to kind of fill that in a little bit. You can just plug him right into the back of the chopper. But you can see the robot legs just kind of folded up under here, and then just pretty much everything else is just kind of open space. But I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's a little bit weird at the back here. I don't know if this is how the actual helicopter looks. I imagine it might possibly be. I'm not well versed enough, in aeronautics to make that call. But it is a little strange looking, especially from the back. But from the front, it looks just fine. The blades do rotate. They don't freely spin very nicely. You can see I'm kind of turning it here, and they're not really spinning. And I'm not sure if that's intentional or if I'm doing something wrong. I checked the instructions multiple times, and there was nothing in there. Like, I thought maybe you had to pull this up to unlock it, and then it would spin. But maybe it's just due to the transformation. They don't want this spinning around too much. You might mess up the blades or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. The rear rotor, however, does spin very nicely. A lot of free spin on that, and it just looks overall really nicely. You can see some nice printed details here, and the 4500X designation, or number designation, danger, keep away. It says Blackout on the tail fin there. You can see some nice detailing here. Some other little paint applications and things like that, but overall it's just a really nice kind of military gray, very like a matte coloration all the way around. Some of these parts have a gloss just because they're unpainted plastic, but for the most part they try to get sort of a matte coloration on there, and it works more or less. The wheels unfortunately do not turn at all. They're just molded detailing just like that. And overall, just really, really nice. You can see again on the front the 4500X, as well as a nice subtle Decepticon logo there. And inside all the nice clear windows. So, looks really, really good overall. And of course some more printing on there. So let's go ahead and pop Scorponok out of the back of the helicopter here, and we'll check him out really quickly before we start on the transformation for this guy. Yeah, we'll set this off to the side, and here is Scorponok. You can just unfold his tail. He does have joints in his tail, 2 of them to be exact, and so you can get some nice kind of stinging poses or just flatten it all out if you so desire. The legs do not pose, they're just stuck in one position, but the front claws can swivel in and out. No articulation in the head, unfortunately. But there is some nice paintwork, just a little bit, but it gets the job done. Just picking out those head details really nicely. Especially in something this small, it just looks pretty good overall. So you guys can get an idea of Scorponok there. So, very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video for just a second. We're going to come back and we're going to transform Blackout into robot mode. Alright guys, so it's time to transform Blackout into robot mode, and I do apologize in advance if I screw something up. I have done this a couple of times, but this is my first time doing it on camera. It's always a little more interesting when that happens. There are a lot of steps here. It's not an overly complicated transformation, but there is a lot to try and remember to do. So first thing we want to do is go ahead and remove this tail section. Actually, before I do that, really quickly, let me just go ahead and measure, because I know somebody's going to ask in the comments, and I might as well get this out of the way ahead of time here. So from, I think this is a radar sensor or something like that. From this point to, we'll say, the tip of the tail, right about here, he is 37 centimeters long, or just about 15 inches long in vehicle mode. I knew it was going to be really pretty large in vehicle mode, but it's not quite as large as I was anticipating, so, you know, take that as you will. So anyway, transformation, we're going to go ahead and remove the tail bit here. This just unplugs like that, and we're going to go ahead and fold this piece down like so, and that's going to become Blackout's main weapon. That's going to attach to his hand as his rotor weapon. And then we're going to come around here, and just like in the movie, let's go ahead and rotate this around. We're going to come back here, fold these in, just like this, and then those are going to kind of get out of the way. And we got that going on. Now we're going to go ahead and bring these parts here and unplug them and just bring them up and forward, and they will kind of lock into position. It's a little hard to see, but there is a little slot there that'll go onto that tab there, just like that, and that'll all lock into position. Next, we want to go ahead and undo the sides of the helicopter, basically the entire side of the helicopter. So we're just going to come up here, I'm going to grab these bits and just kind of massage all of these tabs apart like so. And that's gonna, actually we don't want all of it, we just want this part here. So we are detaching all of the parts just to get it kind of loosened up, but we're gonna just focus on this section right here. We're gonna do that on the other side as well. So bring this all here just to unlock everything, and then we're gonna bring this part out like that. Alright, so let's flip it back around, just focus on one side at a time. We're going to go ahead and take this section, and we're going to clear this piece, maybe. Alright, so what we're going to do is going to actually separate this part right here. There we go. That's got it. So we're going to separate that bit, bring this down. This is going to fold over like that. And then this whole section is going to come around here. So we want to go ahead and bring the hand out first. And then we're going to go ahead and bring this in. And then this will come over. And these pieces will tab together to form the robot arm. Just like that. So you got that going. Then we're going to come up here, swing this around. You can see there's two tabs and two slots here on the side. Those are just going to clip together just like that, and then this piece can get locked back into position there. And there you have one robot arm ready to go. We're going to come over here, do the same thing on this side, just separate these bits just like so. Bring it all down, bring this around. Hopefully tab that into so it stays. Doesn't want to stay today. Alright, that's fine. Bring the robot hand out. Swing this up and around. Swing this panel up and around. Peg those together. There we go. Alright. And again, bring this section up. And it's going to lock into place. Hopefully. There we go. And then that's your arms pretty much done. Next we're going to come up here and we're going to actually separate these pieces from the back here. We're just going to bring those back around and back around. And then these bits are going to open up and just kind of fold over onto these sections here. And that's going to reveal this large kind of engine part that I think is the EMP for Blackout. I don't know if that's exactly what it is. You guys will, I'm sure, know better than I will. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and flip this piece up. Actually, we might be able to do it a little easier if we flip this piece down just a little bit. Flip this piece up like so. And now we're going to come up here and we're going to push in on the landing gear. And that is going to bring Blackout's head up in a kind of auto transform function, which is really, really cool. And now you can get all this out of the way and you can get a really nice look at that head sculpt. There we go. Very, very cool. Very nice looking. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come over here. We're going to bring this whole section down. This is going to become the legs. I'm going to swing this all around. And we'll actually have to bring the legs back. And they are on nice solid ratchets. So you have to remember to bring those back. Flip down the waist panel, so just so it doesn't get in the way. And then swing this up. And it's going to connect right into this slot here with using these little tabs. There we go. Now that's connected. You can go ahead and focus on this section at the back here with this bit. So we're going to bring this section down with the whatchamacallit? The windshield, you know, the windscreen. We're going to bring this whole section up and forward over that piece. And that's going to just kind of sit in this position like so. And now we're going to go ahead and bring this section down. And actually we're going to bring these panels up first. Now we'll bring this section down. I might have to turn this around to kind of get it a little more easily viewable from the back here. There we go. So the section is going to come down here and rest inside the back piece here. I want to get these parts separated out so they don't get in the way. We're going to bring this panel up. Okay, guys, got it all sorted. It was just, I don't know why it was stuck, but it was just a little bit stuck. But this thing folds all the way in, just like this. Goes into the back, and then there's actually a little tab right here. You can almost see it. It's kind of a hook, just like that, and it's going to go into... Sorry, it's just a lot of robot parts hanging out everywhere. Come on, dude, it's like a swarm of bees. So it's going to go into this slot right here. And I'm just going to press that in. This piece is actually, I forgot to do this, and that's my bad. This piece is going to swing underneath like that. So when that gets all locked down, this comes up here, And you can see the little indentation there. This is going to just come up and rest in that indentation. And then all the helicopter parts can come down and rest on here. And you can see there's some slots and posts and things like that to attach Scorponok to. So you can attach them to that. And then you just fiddle with these parts over here. You just let those go, fall down, and they will rest in place right there. And we're almost we're almost at the home stretch, guys. So now we have Blackout's legs, and what we want to do here is we want to rotate these around, just like that. Rotate these around. These are very stiff mushroom pegs. And what we're going to do here, we're going to rotate the feet out, and you'll see that those will also auto-transform the knee pads. So you go ahead and do that. And then we have the feet that we have to transform. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull these panels out. We're going to swing the wheels up to the side. Make sure those are out of the way. We're going to swing the panels around to the back. Now we're going to go ahead and flip this piece like that. Get that out of the way there. And now we're going to go ahead and press this back down, and that should form the feet, just like so. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Get that out. Bring this side around. Swing this around. Collapse that in, and it's all gonna should peg in. Little tabs and slots and all that fun stuff. Just like that. And of course we just make sure the gun is pointing out of the way or down or whatever. It would be nice if it actually could get more out of the way, and maybe it can. I'm not sure. Let's try it. Perhaps. No, it won't be able to really do anything else, I don't think. We can give it one shot. We can give it a shot here. Nah, I mean, yeah, not so much. Not so much. I want to believe. I want to believe, guys. All right, we're gonna do a little crazy experimentation here. You might be able to maybe possibly get the forward gun all the way back and up around his waist and kind of get that out of the way, and that would be great. In the instructions, it does not show that as the case. It just shows it like facing down. And honestly, I'd be afraid to kind of mess with it too much. So we're just going to leave it as is, and it's going to just have to be good enough. So that's fine. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, all that to say we're done. We're done transforming Blackout. And it's not that complicated. I'm sorry if I made it look more complicated than it is. But it's really not that bad. It's just a lot of panels and things that kind of can get in the way of each other, especially when you're trying to do it all within the viewfinder of a camera. It gets really difficult. But here's Blackout, and he looks really good. He definitely looks like Blackout, as he should. So really nice head sculpt, really nice paintwork. All the way around. Let's try and get this to focus in just a little bit, huh? You want to maybe? All right. It doesn't want to focus. Maybe. We'll try zooming a little. There we go. That's got it. Hey, all right. So yeah, there's the head sculpt. Looks really good. Really tells you that these guys did not have mouths or any kind of actual faces, which is a little weird. But overall, looks really nicely done. You turn him around to the side. He looks good from the side. He looks good from the back. He looks like Blackout ought to. And again, you can, of course, grab your Scorponok here and he will plug onto Blackout's back, and he can just chill right there for deployment at any time. And like I also mentioned before, you do have the blade weapon, and it's a lot easier to attach if you kind of lift this up and lift this up just a little bit, and just kind of pop that in there, and then return that to its spot, so he can have his blade weapon on his arm. So yeah, really, really nicely done overall, nicely sculpted. Decent articulation, okay articulation. His arms are limited in their range. Arms can't really go up very far, just because of the transformation and all of this stuff that's in the way. They can go back about that far. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have a little rock in the shoulders. They can kind of go out and in like that. They can go out to the side, but only so far, especially when he's got the weapon attached. And of course he's got that elbow. Hands are articulated, but there is no wrist swivel, which is kind of the biggest bummer of this figure, in my opinion. That wrist swivel really makes it look a little weird, his hands, especially the way that they're kind of sculpted. He's just got kind of like, I don't know, just like sad hands. But you can open his thumb and like have him grab things if that's, you know, your style, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, it is a shame, since like one of the biggest scenes in the movie, or you know, in the Transformers films, when he actually grabs like the server and he twists it, and he twists his wrist to get it out, and you can't do that wrist twist. But his legs are quite articulate. He's got nice solid ratchets out to the side. You can raise the hip skirts up just a little bit to get some upward movement. His ratchets are super tight, upward and backward. Of course, he does have a thigh swivel, and he does have a double jointed knee, but not quite in the way you'd think. It's he's got like the chicken leg situation going on there. So if that's how you want to display your Blackout, you can display him with, you know, the that sort of leg formation. But he is not a very large figure, and that's probably to make sure that the vehicle mode wasn't overly humongous. But I think he could stand to be a little bit larger. And I really do like this figure, but if they actually come out with like a third-party upscaled version, I will totally pick that up, because I think this guy deserves to be really, really big. I don't have any regular mainline movie figures nearby to do a size comparison, but I do have MP4. Yeah, I have MPM Prime, which is about the same size as the Revenge of the Fallen Prime leader. And so it should give you a sense of size here. Obviously, Blackout is really small compared to this guy. I mean, his backpack gives him a lot more height, but overall, he's probably about the same size as the Voyager Blackout in robot mode, which is kind of, less than ideal. So definitely, if there's an upscaled version of him, I'll be happy to pick that up in the future. He also comes with a backdrop, and I'll show that off really quickly. It comes with this nice little base attack backdrop, and you can fit him right in there, and he looks pretty darn spiffy, if I do say so. Alright guys, so overall, I think Blackout here is a very worthy leader class figure, worthy of your money, that is. He does a really great job at turning from, the helicopter mode into what is a very convincing movie design Blackout figure. He does have a little bit of junk on his arms. He is rather small for a leader-sized figure. And I would have liked a little bit more articulation. But overall, the paint, the paintwork, and just the engineering that had to go into this figure really, really sells it for me. So I think it is definitely worth your while to pick this guy up. And like I said, I'll be happy to own a second copy if they come out with a larger version down the line somewhere. So really, really nice, really solid figure, in my opinion. Though not perfect, definitely has its flaws, but honestly, if you're waiting, since 2007 for a leader class Blackout, I don't think this will disappoint you. I think this does a really great job overall. So very, very cool. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. I want to thank you so very much for watching. Sorry it was a little bit long, a little bit crazy, but we got through it. So thank you so very much. If you feel so inclined, hit that like button. It really does help me out. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more. And if you'd like to consider sponsoring my page, you can check out my Patreon and PayPal links in the description and all that sort of thing. So thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.